Charlie, it's a pleasure to welcome you. You are the CTO of Customer Connect for a fabulous company, Salesforce. But more importantly, you're focused on IoT and now the evolution of Meta. So it's good for us to understand how the evolution is happening.
Sure. Well, it's an honor to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for including me. And you're absolutely right. There is a huge intersection now between devices, connecting products to customers, and connecting products to the cloud. There's a huge connection there, especially moving forward when you talk about the metaverse. So right now we focus on attaching sensors to products so we can connect them to the cloud by measuring and monitoring what's going on in that product. And when something goes awry, when there's an anomaly with the product, we can take that sensor information and act upon it. So we make it actionable and truly disrupt the customer experience by doing that. By connecting a sensor from a product into the cloud, we can, for example, create a trouble ticket in the cloud. And then when you create a trouble ticket, you can dispatch the appropriate field technician to work on that issue. And then when the field technician responds to that issue, they can have the appropriate tool, they can have the appropriate part, and they can have the appropriate skill to work on that device that's connected to the cloud. So there's a huge advantage towards physically connecting that device to the cloud. And now you asked a question about the metaverse and how that pertains to the actual device and IoT. Well, in the future, we're going to be able to simulate those activities. So not only are we going to be able to physically connect that product into the cloud, we're going to be able to take that product and do a virtual representation of that product. We call that a digital twin. So we're going to be able to take it, and we're doing that right now. I keep saying we're going to be able to do it. We're doing it right now where we can create a virtual representation of that product called a digital twin, and then take that information and use that to simulate that what-if scenario. For example, what happens if that product fails? What's going to be the outcome of that product failing? How is that going to impact the business? And then what happens if we have 5 of those products fail at the same time? How do we respond to that? Is it even possible to respond to that situation when we have 5 simultaneous failures of a product or a device in the real world? We can simulate that in the virtual world, and just like you would never hop into an airplane with a pilot that wasn't trained in a flight simulator, you're not going to be able to run your business in the future without being able to simulate those business operations in the virtual world.
The other important aspect which I want to ask you is Customer Connect. Obviously, big company like Salesforce has thought through it. It's very important. Some of the aspects of your role in terms of Customer Connect today.
Yeah, so the customer connection part stemmed from my boss indicating that part of my job was to connect products into the cloud and connect devices into the cloud, but also being able to connect the customer experience, right? Not only the customer experience around what experience is going to happen when the customer interacts with that device or product, but also how the customer experience should happen. And in combination with that, actually part of my role at Salesforce is to go out and reach out to customers and to watch them interacting with products and interacting with IoT and doing things like digital twin simulations and metaverse. So not only do I focus on the customer experience side of that, but I also like to go out and work with them one-on-one conferences. Like we have these things, these conferences called Dreamforce, which is one of the largest technology conferences in the world. And we have these little customer-led conferences called, for example, Midwest Dreaming. And we call them dreaming events because they bring our entire ecosystem of customers and partners together to interact. And it's all about the customer experience there too.
Coming to the evolution of the market itself. One is technology evolution, then because you're right at the intersection where new technologies, especially in our region, people are more aware, but companies like yours is pretty global. Educating the customer to embrace the technologies as a consumer is also a challenge. That's what is needed. So some of those challenges are how we're trying to work on.
Yeah, so the way we embrace that is to we give our customers the ability to provide practically instantaneous feedback on our own platform. We have this thing called the idea exchange, where if a customer doesn't like something about our product, or if they're having a bad customer experience on our product, they can instantly vent to this platform and create a complaint about how something's not working properly. Or even better, to suggest enhancements to that product to raise the level of the customer experience. And that ID exchange has a point system too, so it's gamified. So if I vote on a new feature in Salesforce, I'm able to say, I'm very passionate about this new feature. Well, let's bring the whole community in to collaborate around that, to see how important that is to the entire community. And they vote on that feature, and as it gathers points, it rises to the top. And we focus, from a product management standpoint, we focus on that specific feature for the next release. And sometimes we're not able to get to that, and then we have to go back and apologize to our customers for not being able to get a specific feature enhancement into a release. And then we have another customer experience issue that we have to deal with. But typically, we try to, with every Salesforce release, and we do 3 a year, we try to, we're proud of how many points we retired for new enhancements. So we've taken care of the issue from it's been presented on the idea exchange.
I think this is a good lesson for startups especially. Because, once they start the alpha and the beta release, they have to go to the customers. And if the market is not talking to you, then there is some problem with how you are strategizing for companies.
That's exactly right. And if you're not meeting with your customer, and if you're not interacting with your customer, then you're building a product in a vacuum. You can't really do that. It's extremely important to be able to interact on a daily basis with your customer.
Charlie, always, I know we had the pleasure of interviewing you before, but again, thank you for this opportunity. Your time is valuable. We'll appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you. The pleasure was mine.